Welcome to Slow News Day with Kevin Clark. I am Kevin Clark.
Woo. Yep.
Hey, Corey, what would happen if I just pulled a Urban Meyer and just started berating Slow News Day production crew members and asked them to defend their resume?
Do you forget about Taysom?
Because every time Taysom Hill's in the game, he f***s up.
How about this guy, Urban Meyer? First of all, Urban, you check resumes before you hire someone, not after. A little HR tip for you. Second of all, if you run into a loser coach in the morning, loser coach in the afternoon, loser coach in the evening, at some point, since you hired them all, you're the loser coach. There might be a word for that. There might be a word for a coach who loses. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'll get it. All right, Kyle Brandt, NFL Network star, 10 Questions host here on the Ringer Podcast Network. What's going on, buddy?
It's great to be here. I've always loved the name and concept specifically of the show because that's the kind of thing that sports fans bitch about. And the second you deviate for one segment on radio or TV from the Steelers running attack, if you just talk about anything that's slightly off the Slow News Day, huh, Jim Rome? Slow News Day, Brandt. We got it on Good Morning Football. We used to get it on the radio. I think it's a great phrase, and it speaks to exactly that annoying sports radio caller who just wants to hear about his team's special teams. I do have to tell you, I have a collection of eccentric, bizarre, one-of-a-kind t-shirts, and when I was getting ready for the show, I was like, what should I wear that Kevin would appreciate? Do you know what that is? Can you see it?
Is that Jimmy Graham at the U?
That is Jimmy Graham at the U playing basketball. I wore it for you. I have a shirt with him.
I knew that because, and this is how diseased my brain is, I knew that because I couldn't see the face there because of the lighting. I could recognize the 00 and the font. Because I went to an absurd amount of Miami basketball games back in those days.
I wonder, Kevin, will anybody play Jimmy Graham in the Sean Payton movie? He's got a central role, right?
He has to. He has to. Oh, Jimmy Graham could do it himself. Speaking of the Sean Payton movie.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't think looks half bad. I mean, it's for kids, probably. I'm going to watch that movie. I'm going to have some popcorn. Let's create an NFL movie right now. It could be anything.
We're seeing one that's converging right now, modern day, in which, you know, the world comes to an end and the mountains crumble and the seas boil and the Buccaneers play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's the obvious one. But if I'm going to do them, all right, in history, I'll make a historical poll. I fell in love with football when I was 12 years old and I was in New Orleans randomly with my dad, and my dad said, hey, there's an NFL game here today. Should we go to it? It was the Too Legit to Quit Atlanta Falcons against the New Orleans Saints. There was a time when it was perfectly fine that MC Hammer, who was the biggest pop star in the world along with Madonna, would be on the sideline during games looking at action. They didn't restrict him. It was there. It was Ryzen. It was Dion. It was Glanville. And they would channel Too Legit to Quit and do the thing from the early 90s. So, like, if that does not say movie, I don't know what does.
Here's mine. The post-double doink kicker tryouts that Matt Nagy had for like 6 months, just obsessing over and over and over again. I think he signed 6 guys at that point. And who's the most obsessive guy who could pull off Matt Nagy right now? Jeremy Strong.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Kendall.
He gets really into it. I could see a little visor on him. All right, speaking of the Bears, let's fix the Bears. Take me through what being a Bears fan is like right now.
You know what? I have a weird personal connection to it. And this is like where personal lives and hometowns and medias meet. Kevin, I know Matt Nagy a little bit. God, is he a good guy? And I don't mean in any way that should interfere with it. Like, I mean, the second you meet him, he is incredibly affable, incredibly likable, and I'm sure that served him well in his career. But he can't just get it. He can't get it together. So I'm so pissed that it's not working. Khalil Mack, is he still a person? Like, is they still exist on the? Is he still in the league? I saw a stat yesterday. Have you seen this? That even if you take the Khalil Mack Defensive Player of the Year season that he had with the Raiders, that Micah Parsons has already passed statistically every single category that Mack did. So this guy from Buffalo, who we decided was Lawrence Taylor because he played some really good football for 20 minutes, signed a $300 million a day contract with the Bears, and like this is the heart of Bears fans. They'll say, you know, it's not all about sack numbers. You know that, right? Like, a lot goes into that. He has a lot of double teams and a lot of chips. He affects plays in a lot of ways. I don't give a crap. If you get that much money, I want sacks. I want big numbers. And he just doesn't do it. And I think he's like the 9th thing on the Bears list, don't you?
Yes, I do. I think that there's a lot there. First of all, the Khalil Mack trade is the rare trade where just both teams just lost. Like there's not even a hint of winning. Like, there was for the first year or so. I was like, oh, maybe both teams are going to work. It's like, nope. Actually, both franchises were actually destroyed by this. It was the rare trade that destroyed 2 franchises.
Sure.
But I think they kind of need to start over.
There's so many things to fix, and they're such an irrelevant team right now. You want a movie? There's a snuff film or one of those Purge movies, and it's about the career of Allen Robinson. And all it does is go
Faces
through
of Death, one of those old Faces of Death VHS
where
video.
He has a rookie Justin Fields who's raw. Nope, that's not working. Trubisky before that. Nope, that's not working. Blake Bortles before that. Before Bortles, you had Christian Hackenberg in college. Like it keeps. I would love to find out who Allen Robinson's high school quarterback is. I bet he sucked.
I'm looking it up on LinkedIn. Let me make sure that this is the right guy.
Bortles.
Looks like it is. It is. Mike Koningschnet is a CPA and a commercial underwriter at Crestmark. That was who Allen Robinson was getting passes from in high school. You are proud of your extremely diverse resume, which is different from everybody else in sports media. You were a soap opera actor. What was the weirdest soap opera arc that you had on your time acting down there?
Philip Kyriakis, son of a wealthy man, decided, no, I'm going to go on my own path. I'm going to enlist in the Marines. He enlists in the Marines. He does well. He rises fast. He becomes Special Forces. He stepped on a landmine, lost his leg. I think he was like maybe one of the first amputee characters in daytime television. After he decides I'm done with the Marines, someone at NBC said, hold on, there's a big cross-section between people who watch soap operas and people who like NASCAR. How can we draw those in? Philip became a NASCAR driver with one leg.
I'm not sure what to say, Kyle. Who's the best team in the NFC right now?
I mean, it's the Packers.
I know.
Kevin, like, don't you feel like we have seen this movie 10 times? And we all get sucked in every bleeping time. And I'm sitting at the table on Good Morning Football, and we're going around, and everyone's like, man, the Packers, they're good. They're like, I'm like, hold on. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing about this team. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm asking earnestly. That is special and unique from like 6 other Packers teams that we've watched. I can't come up with it yet. And I know that they're going to lose a playoff game, and it's going to be with Rodgers standing on the sideline as it is every freaking time. These Packers seasons never end with like, oh, Rodgers threw a pick on the last drive. Or incomplete on 4th and 2. Rodgers, it's always with him standing on the sideline. So
37-28. It's a
Doesn't matter.
37-28. Yeah, it's a 2-possession game. The clock is going down. Troy Aikman saying, you got to feel for Aaron Rodgers again. You know exactly what it is. Everyone has extremely red faces because it's like 13 degrees in Green Bay.
Yes.
That's how this ends. Wait, it's time for your horoscope. Is your birthday January 24th? Is Wikipedia correct?
Yes. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius.
Are your emotions getting the best of you, Aquarius? You could abandon your typically cool demeanor during a heated exchange today. Do your best to keep those fiery feelings in check and focus solely on the facts.
That sounds accurate. I got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old in the house, and Santa Claus is coming to town. And do you want to know what I'm pissed off about today? There's a lot of hubbub in the neighborhood right now that there was an intelligence breach at the school relating to the big man who comes on Christmas. And kids are talking and saying some stuff that's not true about what exists and what doesn't. And I just want to go to these parents. Keep that stuff in-house. If you blow it for your kid, I don't want you telling my kid anything. So I'm pissed about it. I'm triggered.
Who's the leaker? Do we have to get Urban Meyer in to start firing some leakers?
We might, and they'll be terminated. They'll be unemployed instantly.
All right, we do something called Club Kevin. Anybody right now you think is crushing it, Kyle?
We watch so much Home Improvements, and we watch so many cooking shows. I'm gonna throw my guy Chip Gaines in there. He's coming in.
Boom.
We love Chip. Guys like us at home or women have every reason to not like him. He seems very happy. He's got a wonderful wife, beautiful family, great house, and yet he's still totally likable. And like I stand for Chip Gaines, and he's very handy, and he kind of has that dad bod that we all wish we could pull off better. Like Chip Gaines, I'll party with you anytime, man.
Wow, Chip Gaines, welcome to Club Kevin. Very nice.
Yeah. Have a beer and fix that shelving over there, Chip, like it's nothing.
Kyle Brandt, this is amazing, buddy. Thanks for coming on Tall Newsday.
Anytime, Kevin, thanks for having me. Jimmy Graham 00. We're always right.